Hey everyone, Gage Ryan here to showcase the deck I ran for the RRC in Pittsburgh a couple of days ago for their redo tournament. It's Hieratics. It's just pure OTK Hieratics. I thought it would be a pretty solid call against the lineup of decks I was going to run into. A lot of aggro control style stuff. I thought that playing just a pure OTK deck would be a pretty solid choice against them. And it worked okay. I went 4 and 2 through 6 rounds and then just completely forgot how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! In round 7 and blew game 3 really badly. So, I mean, anybody that has more than 3 weeks of experience playing Hieratics, go and give this deck a try at any of these RRCs. You'll probably do pretty well. But shout out to these retro tournaments, man. I had a great time. It was great to see, old friends and whatnot, catch up with everybody. This is the first real tournament I've been to in like 8 or 9 years or so, and it felt great. But yeah, we're just gonna get straight into it. So this is pure Hieratics. It's modeled after Paul Cooper's old builds, old Swagatic Heretic decks. So it's just pure OTK. It's no control at all. It's just straight OTK. So let's get right into it. 3 Tefnuit, Cyber Dragon on the deck. 3 Nepthet, the Monster Destroyer. 3 Sue, one that pops back row. And 3 Ascent. So you play the standard 12. Nothing to see here. I see some people try to play like 2 Nepthet or 1 Nepthet or cut down on this lineup, but that makes no sense to me. Play 12. On to the vanilla. So you got triple Watt. It's a staple. Some people think you can get away with playing 2. I could never make 2 work for me. 3 is just vital. And I also play the Cursed Dragon, which is something that I've been told to, like, I had one guy who was trying to talk me out of it, and I understood his point, but then I went into the tournament, actually one of the rounds that I lost game 3 because I sided out Cursed Dragon, and I needed it for the combo the next game, so gotta have these. We live, we learn. So the funny thing is that this card normally was an MVP for me, but in this tournament, I don't think I summoned it a single time. It's Quackimera Drago. It's not necessarily just to like lock down an entire deck. It's mainly just to out Gores, Tragodia, Battle Fader if you're playing against Monarchs. That's normally what it's for, and in testing it was working fantastically for me. But in the tournament, I didn't see it, didn't need it, but I would not cut it. It's just there's too much Trag, too much Gores. You need this card. And the Red MD. Actually, I've heard a lot of Heretic players that like really complain about drawing this card. I don't really care about drawing it all that much. It's just if I draw it, I'm low on Heretics. Like if you open like Tefnuit in this, that sucks. But if you have a bunch of Heretics and Red Eyes, it doesn't really matter. You just OTK with it a different way. Then got Triple Birdman. You call me a Heretic noob if you want, because I up until like let's call it a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I didn't even really know why this card was so important in the deck, and oh my goodness, because any 2 Heretics basically plus this is 8,000, or it's like 8,100, something like that. This card's amazing. Opening 2 of it and then a way to get to Red Eyes Darkness is pretty much auto game. I did that a couple times in the tournament. I got Red Eyes out, reborn something, Birdman, brought back Red Eyes, reborn something, Birdman, second time, and it's, sometimes there really is nothing you can do about it. Birdman's just great for those situations. You got the draw power, you got the 3 card. I'm totally content with people that Veiler this and warning this. It did get warning once or twice, and I just kind of laughed because usually you just win next turn after that. The old joke with this card in Heretics is that if you summon card and they Veiler, that means you're probably going to win next turn because that means they just wasted their Veiler on this. But if you summon card and they don't Veiler, then you're probably going to win anyway because it means they don't have Veiler. So, good card. Speaking of Veiler, I played 2 of my own. I'm not really sure how I felt about this. It was a good side-out card for a lot of circumstances. I just kind of, in testing, the way it was working for me is that, like, if you want to go card instead of back row and draw 2, and then your opponent goes, like, Tour Guide and you Veiler it, and they just kind of pass, and then you just OTK them, they don't even get a chance to really play anything out of the gate. In hindsight, I'm not sure how well that philosophy held up. I think that this deck can sometimes struggle with consistency at points. Like, there's definitely times where you need to take a turn or 2 to set up. All you really need is 2 or 3 Heretics and you can go off, but there are just sometimes where you'll open like a vanilla or 2 and a card and other cards that just aren't Heretics. They're not bad cards to draw, but they're not Heretics. So I thought this would help in those situations, but I don't know. This might be on the chopping block. And then 2 Trag and a Gores to round out the monsters. Like 30 monsters, something like that. Total deck count's 41, I do know that. But the 2 Trag and the Gores, very good side-out fodder, if anything. I mean, I sided these out pretty much every game. Not that they're bad cards or anything, but there's so many combo pieces in this deck, it's actually very difficult to find correct things to side out a lot of times. So these were constantly on the chopping block. But Gores did win me a game. I believe Trag won me a game. Like they had utility for sure, but they're also good side-out fodder if you're looking for stuff. So that's it for the monsters. It's a lot of them. On to the spells. There's 0 traps in the deck, so 2 Convocation, nothing really to explain there. 2 Duality, if only we could get these back at 3 in the format, but you know, alas. One of the MVPs, there were 2 of them, but here's the first one is Wingbeat of Giant Dragon. Yes, I do play, and the Heavy Storm, so I was playing 4 Heavy Storms in the deck. I was just not willing to entertain back row. I will say that there was a lot more Blackhorn of Heaven than I was expecting, and so this does not out Blackhorn. Heavy does, obviously, but like this, they can easily Blackhorn something, unless you have the Asset to go Wingbeat off this, that can give you some trouble sometimes. So, but what I was thinking about was like triple MST, triple Lance, and Heavy Storm, and then maybe siding the Wingbeats or something. But Lance doesn't out Blackhorn or Solemn Warning either. So it's like the same cards kind of just hurt you no matter what. So maybe we'll put the MSTs in the main, maybe we won't. But I did like the Wingbeats pretty much. I think every time I resolved it, I did win. It's just such a broken card. And a lot of times you'll kind of hold your breath summoning the Tefnuit, but they want to wait until you go like a Tomb or something before they play anything substantial. And so then when you just like Wingbeat, get rid of it all, and resummon the Tefnuit, it's just so unfair. Great card. The Reborn, nothing really to explain there. And then the last card in the deck rounded out, and I believe this was the best card in my entire deck. I won at least 2 matches off this card. The 1 day apiece, man. There's the same kind of philosophy in this deck as it does with, let's say, Final Countdown, where people, well, it's a -1. It's like, yeah, but you draw a card and it stalls you for that turn. So it's kind of a +1 for like the purpose it serves in your deck, and it functions the same way in Hieratics. You know, there was one of the matches I won with this card was because I 1-dayed, and then it was like duality card. I like did my play, set up my stuff, and passed. And by that point, and after the guy had done all his combos, he forgot about 1 day apiece. He just went ham and summoned everything. And he goes, enter battle phase. I went, yeah, 1 day apiece. There's no battle damage. He's like, oh shit. And so yeah, he ends his turn, and then I just OTK'd him the next turn. So that'll happen a lot. There's multiple times just in a tournament where like your opponent will have game, but you'll have 1 day, and then you just OTK them next turn. It's such a savage, unfair card. I almost didn't have it in the deck, but then luckily when I found out that it was at 3 in this format for some reason, there was no reason to not play it. There's no way I couldn't include it in the deck. And like I said, it won me at least 2 matches, maybe more. Every time I got it, I was pretty happy. So definitely great card. If you're playing Heretics, if you're playing the OTK builds especially, please play this card. On to the extra deck. It's only like 13 cards, I think. There are a couple cards I was missing. I was running around like a fucking chicken with my head cut off trying to find them for the tournament, but hey. You got 3 Tomb, 3 Charger, Staple. You need all 3. Don't play 2. If there was an MVP in the extra deck that wasn't those 2 cards, it's Photon Strike Bouncer. I threw this on the field against my first wind-up opponent, and he was having hella trouble outing it. And so from that point on, I was just summoning this against wind-ups like all day. And so a lot of times they'll have to do janky plays where they end up making like Acid Golem or something. So if you can put a second one, like I'm going to put a second one in the extra deck, so if you can throw a second one on the board after they out it with Golem, you're probably in pretty good shape. Zenmayo, made him once, and I still lost, so who knows. Adrius, I don't even play Tyrus. You probably should, but I just never needed him, wanted him, never missed it, you know. So like Adrius actually, because Adrius is 26, you can actually help push for game with this guy, and another reason to play Curse of Dragon, so I like this card. The Beetle, never made it. Thought about it a time or two, but just it never materialized, but it's a good generic card, no reason not to. The Dust, just in case you can't OTK them and you're worried about getting Dark Hold. There's one time where I couldn't put Dust on the field, and I was like, okay, well, I have game anyway if he doesn't have Dark Hold, but no, he had Dark Hold, so it's a tough scene. and Scrap Dragon, because you need it for the OTK. You know, like I said, pretty much any 2 Heretics plus Birdman, you end the board with, I think it's like Red MD, Gaia Charger, Scrap Dragon, I think, something like that. I know that one time I needed the Force Focus, and I didn't have it, and you're supposed to go 28, 28, 26. But what I ended up doing was I ended up going with Red Eyes, and then I had Strike Bouncer and Stardust in play. And so it was 28, 27, 25, and I still got to the 8K, so dumb plays like that will come up. On to the side deck. Prohibitions. I don't think I saw this a single time. I sided it in a ton, just kind of for Valor and whatnot. And I mean, it's also good for, like, it's good against Valor, it's good against, like, Herald of Orange Light. If you know your opponent's playing Scarecrow, it's a good card to call. And, you know, it just has so much utility. Like, if you're, the old things that we always talk about, like, you go against Dark World, call Grapha, Gravekeepers, call Necro Valley, you know, really good card. But I don't think it didn't actually do anything this tournament, though, surprisingly. Usually when I side Prohibition, it's pretty good for me, but I just didn't do anything this tournament. I wouldn't cut them, though, at all. Yeah, 3 Chalice. And to go with the Chalice, he has to play the Dark Hole. And, you know, it's all just for anything, like Fossil Dyna. I knew I wasn't going to do well against Steel Swarm Roach. It's for Shockmaster. I think a Shockmaster can call spells. It's not the worst thing in the world, because I usually have, like, if I open a bunch of monsters, I'm just going to pop with their shit anyways. It doesn't really matter, but it's kind of 50-50 against Heretics. And if they go monster effects, you have cards like One Day Apiece, Duality, and another, you know, cards like Dark Hole and Chalice and whatnot to out it anyway, so. You find your ways around the problem cards, and then you basically just ignore everything else, so. And like I said, I didn't see any Fossil Dyna, but if I did, those are some of my answers. 3 MST. Very hard to side this in, actually, because, like, when I want to side in the other cards in my side deck plus MST, trying to find cards to side out that aren't, like, combo pieces is incredibly difficult, so. But I wouldn't take these out, obviously. 2 System Down. This is probably the only card I'd change. I don't know. The ability to stop Gear Gia is incredibly important, but it just didn't feel like this was the right call. And a lot of times, like with decks, you want to just stall them out for a turn or two, and then just OTK them. But with Gear Gia, they have the ability to kind of do the same thing. They take a turn, maybe 2 at most, and then they can just go ham. So I thought that this would be a solid answer, but it just didn't do what I wanted. So this is probably the only card I'd cut. And of course, you probably see this coming a mile away, the 3 Decree. So, 3 Decree, 3 MST, 3 Wingbeat Heavy Storm. I thought that would definitely be enough for back row. And there was only 1 match, really. I think a total of 3 games out of 7 rounds where I lost to back row. And, you know, like, Rabbit and stuff like that is his deck's worst matchup, and so when you go against, this wasn't Rabbit I played against, but, like, I lost to a Gear Gia guy in round 2. Really nice guy. But both games, it was kind of like, it was like Armor, double Blackhorn Warning, and, like, you know, unless you draw the Decree, there's just not much you can do about that. So that's why you have this in here. But yeah, that's it, you guys. I really enjoyed the deck. I thought it was a really solid meta call, and I think it was. And it performed pretty well. All my matches were awesome. There were some matches where you just kind of like blow the opponent out turn 2 because they just never even get a chance to set up. I was hoping to play against a bunch of Chaos Dragons, but alas, didn't play against any of those. But nonetheless, hey, shout out to all my opponents. It was a really awesome tournament experience. Like I said, it was my first like real tournament back in like 8 or 9 years, and it was great. I'll definitely be going to more once the opportunity presents itself. So shout out to the RRC tournament and whatnot. Shout out to everybody that was there. Shout out to the top 8 Dino Rabbit guy. I saw that. I thought that was cool. Shout out to all my friends I saw there. I don't want to start naming people because it'll take way too damn long. But that's my Heretic deck, you guys. Any suggestions, any feedback, be sure to leave a comment, and maybe I'll update this if I can take this to another tournament at some point in the near future. So that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you soon.